Welcome Lund loyalists to John Lund Unleashed. Those watching on YouTube, on the John Lund Unleashed and Bay Area Sports Collective channels. Viewers on X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and Lundos listening to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. John Lund Unleashed, brought to you by Reapel Sports Medicine. Got pain? Check out our revolutionary stem cell treatments. And guys, if low T is bringing you down, Reapel Sports Medicine can put you back in the game. Now all juiced up and ready to go, here's John.
What is happening? It's Friday edition of the show, TGIF. I hope you go in, or maybe you go in early, or maybe you're faking sick, or maybe you went too hard on a Thursday. I don't know. Whatever. But happy Friday. Whatever your day is bringing to you. Thank you for making us a part of it. It is John Lund Unleashed. We're on YouTube, and we'd love it if you came on over and subscribe to the channel, grew the community. Thank you very much for doing that. Please hit us with a like before you get out of here today so the algorithm says not half bad. And keep those alerts on. We're always sending new stuff out, including a couple of things I just couldn't fit on the show today. We had tons of stuff in different directions. You could see on the chalkboard if you're new around here. There was just lots of stuff. And with Tyrese Haliburton and the Giants winning yesterday and Aaron Rodgers signing and all these different things, there was only so much we can fit, so we got a few things I'm going to do some shorter videos on later today, including a Willie Adames breakdown that Harold Reynolds did on MLB Network. And while I applaud his effort, it's inaccurate, and I'll tell you why. So I'm going to do a little video of that later, probably some more stuff. I put out an Aaron Rodgers short late last night, which dropped this morning, so we always have stuff happening. So make sure you please have those alerts on, because it's not just the show, which is Monday through Friday, which I think we're going to do permanently at 9 o'clock and then 10 o'clock on Saturdays. And then Sunday we take the day off. But if there's breaking news or anything like that, we don't take the day off. So we go 7 days a week if we have to, put out tons of videos for your entertainment value, and hopefully it works. So good morning to everyone. John Lund Unleashed, as well as the Bay Area Sports Collective on YouTube. Those two channels is where we are. That B in the corner is Bay Area Sports Collective. If you're new, welcome. And that means my show, John Lund Unleashed, many years, about 30 years in sports radio all over the country, the last 15 plus in the Bay Area. But it's my show. It's Tom Tolbert, formerly of KNBR. It's Polymac and Creative Tony and Polymac Particles, formerly of KNBR. It's Rod Brooks, who was the game yesterday, and they said, hey, there's Rod Brooks, formerly of KNBR. He is got Quality Hang going on. That's on Bay Area Sports Collective, as well as Amy G and former Giants pitcher Jeremy FL. And we are adding more all the time. So make sure with that big B that you go to the Bay Area Sports Collective and you please subscribe there. Thank you for watching on Instagram this morning at John Lund Radio, X at John Lund Radio. If you'd migrate over here, that would be great. Or if you're just hanging out, I understand. LinkedIn, we're there. Other places like Twitch as well. So whatever it is you like to do, if you come over to YouTube, that would be amazing. We'll do the chalkboard and say good morning to everybody momentarily, but do remember, I told you this, my wife was with Dr. Riopel yesterday, had another short procedure on the foot because she wants that thing to be feeling awesome. The shoulder is already great, not icing on the elbow anymore, and she's just doing the foot now. And because, like I told you, about a month ago or 6 weeks ago now, in Vegas, went to Arizona, have had a couple of trips and business trips, and she's walking great and everything's going awesome. So it's all because of the stem cell procedures that she does with Dr. Jeffrey Riopel. If you click on the QR code right there, then you can go straight to the website. Go straight to the website, check out all the things he does, because it's not just stem cell, which he was one of the first in California to do. But I tell you about that all the time that I am doing, and that'll go away in 3, 2, 1. Just look up Riopel, Riopelle in San Ramon. If you're in the East Bay, very, very simple. If you're not, it is so worth your time to come see Dr. Riopel, because it's, I do the low T, which is a quick blood test, and they don't do the blood test every month. It's just, okay, we know what it is. We know what we have to elevate you to. Real simple. Only about every 4 months do I do a really short procedure, and it's very simple. And that's it. And then I feel great. It's not those weekly shots that maybe you're getting if you've got low T. So it's not just that, all sorts of different things. So look them up. Use your favorite search engine, Riopelle, Dr. Jeffrey Riopel, right there in San Ramon, Riopel Sports Medicine. But they do so many other procedures. So make sure that you click on that QR code right there, or just look it up with your favorite search engine, Dr. Jeffrey Riopel. And they just do an amazing job. And like I said, we go there all the time. In fact, I am slated to go back middle of next week. I'll tell you about that when it happens. In fact, maybe I'll do a video from there. Hello, I'm live in the doctor's office. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do? Anyway, a ton to get to today. Episode 159 on this Friday. Haliburton. I guess I'm lazy or just didn't have the space. Haliburton could have been. He could have been. Well, he was a king. And Domantas Sabonis not working out so well. And there was a debate about that trade at one point. Maybe the Kings got the better end. Maybe the Pacers got the other end or better end. As I put down there on the show cover today, Mr. Clutch, you either have it or you don't. And I covered those series with Jordan. I think he's the greatest of all time. I don't think it's really even close. And one of the determining factors of it, I don't care about points and rebounds and all this stuff over 82 games. I don't. The way to define greatness, the way to separate the good from the great and the great from the legendary is when they hit shots. I don't care how many. I don't care how many hits you have. In baseball now, batting average is like, meh. What do you get with runners in scoring position? What do you get with 2 outs and runners in scoring position? How are you performing late in a game? Those kind of things. Under pressure, that's the difference. Ding, 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 ding. Under pressure is where it's made. That's legends. I was at the game when Jordan hit the shot over Brian Russell and ended his Bulls career. That was it. He won a championship, walked off the court. That's how you do it. When Kobe Bryant would hit the shot, when Derek Jeter would get the hit, when Joe Montana would throw the perfect pass. That's legend. And what's happening right now with Tyrese Haliburton in every one of these series, it seems, he's done it in every one of them, including the one that dropped in for the Knicks, that tied it, and he does the choke, thought it was over. That was just a 2, but then continued on. But what he did last night against Oklahoma City just continued to the legend. But that's the difference. So if you want to debate Sabonis, because look at, he has X amount of points and X amount of rebounds, and this is a Tuesday night against Milwaukee, I don't give a shit. I don't care what he does. That's great. Those stats are great. Get me in the playoffs and show me what you can do. How many shots Steph has hit in the clutch? How many has, just the greats. That's what it is across all of sports. That's how it's defined. If you want to know how legends are defined, it's when, not how many. How many hits you have, how many baskets you got, how many rebounds you grab, how many shots you block, how many goals you score, how many touchdowns you throw, catch, or run for. It doesn't matter. Those things matter. I get it. You got to have certain things to get to the hall. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is differentiating between those greatness. How'd they do in the playoffs? I don't know, because Mike Trout's never in the playoffs. I can't call him an all-time great. All-time greats, that's what they do. And Tyrese Haliburton has dominated this postseason. Shai Gilgeous had 38 points last night. Awesome. What did he do when Oklahoma City was up a point last night? Missed the shot. So Tyrese Haliburton had like 14 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. In the first half, he was terrible. He even said that he was a little bit nervous in the first half. He said it in the postgame. Who had the better game? Oh, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He had 38. Yeah, but he missed the shot with the game. That becomes a 3-point game if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hits a mid-range jumper. It's a 3-point game. And the only thing Haliburton does at that point is they've got to take a 3 at that point, and they can only tie. They can't beat you. So who had the better game last night? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had 38 but missed when he could have extended his team's lead, or Tyrese Haliburton, who wasn't as good statistically but hit the game-winning shot? I'm going to go Tyrese Haliburton. Call me crazy. That's how the games work. So when all these dumbasses on these talking head shows that make your ears bleed try to use stats and all these different things, it comes down to one thing for greatness. When? When did you hit the shot? When did you get the hit? When did you make the pitch? When did you score the goal? When? Not how many. There's certain guys that you want up at the dish at a certain time. There's a certain guy that you want taking the shot at a certain time. Those are the guys. And right now, Tyrese Haliburton, the Pacers aren't as good across the board. If you look at, you just look at the matchups, they're not as good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a better year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. With the game on the line, Haliburton is hitting shots. That's what you do. That's how guys get into the Hall of Fame and are elevated. All these different things. All the MVPs are great. All the points are great. All the home runs are great. All these different things. Tremendous. When did you hit them? When did you hit the shot? When did you hit the home run? That's what matters. Because certain dudes in those situations, women, men, whatever, they don't want to be up there. They don't want to take the shot. They don't want to do it. That's what made them great. With certain guys, you just know. Like when Haliburton got the ball in his hands, because of what he's done this entire playoff series, didn't everybody think he was going to hit the shot? I know I did. It's like he's hitting the shot. We all know that, right? Like we all know that, right? I mean, it's been what a run for this guy. This is Haliburton so far in the playoffs. For some reason, in this package that the NBA put together, they didn't put the Knicks shot in there, but this is what he's done this year in the playoffs.
4 seconds. Haliburton for the lead. 1.3 to go. Haliburton the rebound. 9 seconds. They do have a timeout. Carlisle's going to let him play. Haliburton steps back and hits.
Haliburton looking. Haliburton driving, pulls off, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining.
Everybody knew that shot was going in. Sorry, it's a different story that we'll get to. I have the graphic here. Here it is right here. I mean, look at that, man. Every single series, he's hitting one. It's a tying 2 versus the Knicks. It's a game winner. There it is. Walk-off 2. Game winner. Driving layup. 25-footer. Walk-off 3. Like, he's just, that's what he's done. So you can tell me that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was better last night. He wasn't. He scored 38. And he had a chance to put his team up by 3 so that the worst they could do was go to overtime. He missed. The guy who perceived, if you just looked at stats, right? If you were a stat guy, if you were a box score guy, and you just looked at the box score, Haliburton wasn't better. Yeah, he was. Even if he had scored no points, no rebounds, no assists at that point and hit that game-winning shot, he was the better player. That's how it works. So, anyway, he's been amazing this playoff series. Can the Pacers win the NBA Finals? I keep thinking no, but now I'm like, okay. And Oklahoma City's lost game 1s in their run here. So it's not like they can't come back. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 4 in a row and they blew out Indiana by 20. I mean, they're that good of a team. I haven't backed off my stance, and I got these last. I thought Oklahoma City was. You said they were a dynasty. It's like, yeah. It's not like teams go undefeated through the playoffs. I mean, what the Warriors' best run, 16-1, something like that. Maybe it was 1 or 2 losses, whatever it was. So, even the best teams lose. But Oklahoma City's a really good team. I expect them to bounce back. But when you have a guy like Tyrese Haliburton and he's on the run that he's on, don't let it get close. I mean, this was a 15-point game in the fourth quarter for Oklahoma City, and they went, shh. What? And then to try to put the pedal back to the metal, that's really, really difficult mentally. We all know that. Like, you're done for the day, and then you get a call from your boss, like, damn, I got to go back into work mode. How the hell am I going to do that? It's hard. So, anyway, Mr. Clutch. I kind of flipped those around. The Hallie could have. So the Haliburton thing, and you already know this, the Kings had him. And so I started this debate with, people saying, well, who got the better on the deal? Are you kidding? Like, there's certainly no debate there. The other side of it is this is the 2020 NBA draft. And this will make everybody vomit, whether you're a Kings or Warriors fan. So Anthony Edwards, if they did one of those fun things where you said, redraft the 2020 NBA draft. Obviously, you'd take, if you're the Warriors, anybody but James Wiseman. I mean, I was a LaMelo Ball guy, and if you go back to any of my radio shows, I wanted LaMelo Ball. But at the time, LeVar was such a giant pain in the ass, and since then, he's mellowed out. I think a lot of advisors and LaMelo himself probably, because he ruined the first son, and now LaMelo comes along and goes, dude, Dad, can you just stop? And LaMelo's got his issues. He's kind of a quirky guy, but whatever. But then look at this. Patrick Williams stinks. I mean, look at all these different guys that got taken. Killian Hayes, Obi Toppin's on Indiana. He's contributing. Jalen Smith. Vassell's okay. I mean, he's just okay from San Antonio. Then Haliburton. And the reason teams didn't take Haliburton, I've had Bob Myers on shows and talked about this. Everyone liked Tyrese Haliburton. He was a sophomore, and he made plays, and he was. It's not totally shocking what he's doing. I mean, obviously, in the manner that he's doing it. But, I mean, you're looking at him with 17.5 points per game, 9 assists per game. I mean, good numbers, not great. Good, not great. But people had a problem with his shot. It was funky looking. It still is. It was funky looking. And again, this is cover your ass. I tell you this all the time in the draft. It's called cover your ass. And so what did the Warriors do it too? They're looking at James Wiseman going, this guy he can be a rim runner. He's 7 foot. He's super athletic. Well, he only played 3 games at Memphis, and he dominated with the size in high school. Played 69 college minutes. Nice. And so they thought to themselves, okay, well, that's a I don't know, a safe pick, but it's like, well, I can explain that to my owner and say, look at the guy. He looks amazing. All right. LaMelo Ball. Okay. Some of these other guys, really athletic looking guys. And then, Killian Hayes and guys like that. Okay. European guy. All right. I get it. Lots of skills. You look at Haliburton, funky shot, not overly, physical. He's not big. He's not, he doesn't look like a Adonis. He's not all rocked up. He's just a basketball player. And obviously in his head and the maturity about him and all these different things, he's got a bit of quirkiness to him, but he didn't look like, and I'm not saying, he went to Iowa State and he's a big pretty guy. I'm not saying he's, pick 262. He was in there. People were talking about him as a lottery pick. And I do remember going back, and I'm sure you do too, that Bob Meyer, they did like him. There was rumors before the draft that they liked him, but they weren't taking him at 2. There was just no way. And that's one of those things where like, oh, we got the second pick. Cool. We're going to get the best guy. Well, there's Tyrese Haliburton back there. And the Kings, who, did a bunch of stupid stuff like taking Bagley over Luka or taking Jimmer over Clay and, on and on and on and on and on it goes. They finally get one right. They get Tyrese Haliburton. And then they're like, well, we got Fox already. And they do that a lot. They've done that a lot. Like they mismatch the roster and they're like, okay, we're not getting the right pieces together. So I guess we'll just trade Haliburton. And Haliburton has turned into this guy that is a true number one player. I'm not calling him an MVP or anything like that. But if you're looking at guys who others look to and the team is better because of that player, that's what I call a number one. I don't mean by position, point guard 1, off guard 2, small forward 3, power forward 4, centers of 5. Like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a number one guy that you build around. And Tyrese Haliburton has shown in these playoffs that that's what he is. So there's no debate about the Sabonis trade. That was stupid by the Kings. They made the wrong choice. And then as far as the Warriors were concerned, they were never going to take Haliburton. But when you look back there, you're like, God, can you imagine Haliburton on the Warriors? And what a perfect, I don't know, he shouldn't be a third guard, but he and Steph in the backcourt takes the ball. You don't have to use Steph so much on the ball. You can use Steph off the ball at this point in his career. Haliburton's big enough in the backcourt to take the big, kind of like Clay was, take the other guard that's bigger, all those kind of things. I mean, they weren't going to take him at 2. They weren't. The shot was too funky. He didn't jump out of the gym. His physicalness is not, he's none of those things. And that's why he slipped in the draft. But a lot of people liked him, just not at 2. So anyway, there is the 2020 NBA draft. And even if they weren't going to take him, it still makes you want to vomit that they didn't. And then if you're a Kings fan, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the kid has turned into like Jordan in this year's playoffs. He just hits everything he takes. So what could have both for the Kings and the Warriors, Mr. Clutch, that's how you differentiate greatness, not how many you get, not how many hits, not how many homers, not how many hoops you make, not this, that, and the other. It's when. And Tyrese Haliburton is shown in these playoffs, man. He's clutch. I mean, there's just nothing else you can say about it. So that's what's going on as far as the NBA finals are concerned. Let me hit up. Did I say good morning to everybody? I probably did. And I just jumped into everything. But good morning, and we're into the NBA, and we'll hit up on the Giants yesterday in just a second. But good morning to John Joseph. Jason, it's good to see you. And Rockin' and Daniel. Sorry, Daniel, about your Kings. Joy is here. That makes it a show. So does Catalina being here. That is great. Good morning. Good morning to everybody on this Friday. Hello, Pine. What's going on? 420 JJ Raider is your Raider. It is great to see everybody this morning on the 9 o'clock start this morning, and I hope that doesn't screw anybody up. Nathan is here today. It is great. Papa J, good morning. Michael, good morning to you. We've already got our first super. If you want, definitely for your questions, comments, thoughts to get on the show, just hit me up with a super and contribute to the show. It is greatly appreciated. Who else do we have this morning? Did I say Michael? Yes, I did say Michael this morning. If I missed you, hi, Kenny. Hello, Walter. I saw Walter and Passion for the Pastime, which you should be subscribing to. Enrique, it is great to see you. Jazz fan, good morning. Good morning to everyone. If I missed you, hopefully I'll hit you at some point during the show. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I'm talking to the people in the chat room, good friends, and have built a great community. If you'd like to be a part of it, we'd love you to be a part of it. So make sure you head on over to the YouTube channel, John Lund Unleashed. Our first super of the day, that is our good friend Fuji. Bottom of the night tonight, Lady Beer's all set. You know what? Just because you said that, I might go get some more of those Lady Beers. It's summer. Well, it's I guess until what, the 21st or something like that is summer. But those are good citrus beers. I don't know if I can chug them, but they tasted good. And I'm trying to lose weight for my summer bod. So I'm going to have to get some light beers for tonight. And I'm not a snob, but like, I don't know, Bud Lights, Coors Lights, those aren't my favorites. So I'll have to go to the store today and check it out. But yeah, we haven't done it in 2 weeks. I was out of town on business last weekend, and the weekend before that, Krug had something going on. So I've not spoken to Krug today, but unless he's got something going on, I believe that we'll break the streak, Braves and Giants tonight. And thank you, Fuji. You are always the best to all, whatever show I'm on, you always pop up in the supers, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Fuji, for that. But yeah, stay tuned. I'll send out social media on Bottom of the Pint. If you don't know what it is, Larry Krueger from the Krug Show and I, who have known each other for years and years and years, we do a show every Friday night or when we can during the Giants game. We just kind of hang out. We drink beers if they score, which is unusually low this year. It's tough to drink beers, but hopefully tonight against Atlanta, we'll get some runs and we can drink some beers. So, yeah, I'll let you know on Bottom of the Pint, and thanks for asking. Thank you, Papa J, for giving us a like and subscribe. Please do that if you would do that to both channels. My channel, John Lund Unleashed, and the Bay Area Sports Collective. All right, so what could have been Mr. Clutch? Dom Smith. Dom Smith gets his first hit as a Giant yesterday. Let me share my screen with you, and we'll discuss a few things. I may have to go to my phone because I was writing all sorts of notes on my phone yesterday. There's a few different things here. Number one, you may not like Farhan. I get it. But getting Robbie Ray because you could be patient for Mitch Haniger, which is one of the worst signings the Giants have ever had, is incredible right now. Robbie Ray is now 8-1, tied for the most wins in baseball. And I get it. That wins is not a stat like it used to be, but the point of the game is to win. He gives you 7 innings, which is hugely important for your bullpen to not burn them out, because there's the instinct, I'm sure, by Bob Melvin with a lot of their pitchers is, okay, well, I got to go get that guy, but you can't burn the bullpen this early in the year. So Robbie Ray going 7 innings is huge. Gives up 2 earned, strikes out 9, and his ERA is down to 2.44 with an 8-1. He could be an all-star. Randy Rodriguez does what Randy Rodriguez does. He's got an 0.64. I would love it if he would close. I'll give Camilo DOVAL credit, and he's got a 1.61 ERA, but he never makes it easy. He had to do, as you can see there, 22 pitches in the 9th inning, and he gets out of it at the end, but you need Alka-Seltzer and whiskey, like dropping Alka-Seltzer in your whiskey to get through a Camilo DOVAL game, but he did. So they did. So that's good. Daniel Johnson could not recreate the magic in day number 2, but then it was the other guy. It was Dominic Smith right there. Look at Dominic Smith go 3 for 4 on the day. And gets a couple of RBIs, including the game going ahead. They were down 2-1. Dom Smith hits that ground rule double. They score 2, 3-2, and then they hang on by their fingernails at the end, as I told you. And Dom Smith, very, very nice to have him aboard. So they split the series versus the Padres. Padres win the first 2, and the Giants win the last 2. So let me just give you this really quick. Let me give my screen up there one more time for you and give you a little bit of MLB standings, shall we? I just saw him. Come on, man. Find him. All right, there we are right there. So I am going wild card. I am assuming the Dodgers win the division, although the Giants and the Padres are right in their butt, so they're not exactly running away with it, and the Mets did them some favors. But there you go. Philly's going to be a wild card team, there's no doubt. We just saw San Diego, and I'm interested to see what San Diego and how aggressive they are at the deadline. Over the last few years, they have been aggressive, but I'm always thinking to myself, like, they're not a major market team. So are they cool continuing to lose the money, or at some point are they going to just halt this whole thing? Because guys like Bogarts, he stinks. Machado's good, but they've got players. Don't get me wrong. It's just they've overpaid for on a franchise that isn't a major market team. So how much will they add at the deadline? Giants are right there. I'm going to give you an interesting number in just a second. Cardinals, who were kind of hovering, they're right there now, 6 over. Milwaukee had a long winning streak there for a while that was finally broken, but they're 9-1 in the last 10, so that means Rhys Hoskins ain't going anywhere. And then we got our 500s, and that's depends on what you believe. I believe that the Diamondbacks are good enough, even though they're 31-31. I don't think the Reds are. I don't think the Nationals are. I think the Braves are going to come back up. So Reds, Nationals, Marlins, Pirates, Rockies, to me, are out of it. The Braves are good enough to come back, even though they're 7 under. If you look at run differential there, even though they're 7 under, they're 6+ in run differential. So I think that Atlanta, and this is a big series this weekend, is still a team that they're going to have to contend with. So that's what the standings look like right now. But let me show you something even more interesting than that. All right, so we're sitting there bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning. Where's the offense? Where's the offense? Where's the offense? In fact, let me play something for you before I show this graphic that will blow your freaking mind. This is why I like Buster Posey. I like Buster Posey, the player. Love Buster Posey, the player. Love Buster Posey, the person. But I told you, it's like that's three different people. It's the player, the person, and now the executive. The jury is still out. But I love how he answered this question about why he made all the moves he made a couple of days ago. Look at this.
Staff has held up their end of the bargain. Yeah, I mean, it's time to go. I mean, I think we all believe that we're better than what we've been with the bats the last 2.5, 3 weeks, and it's time to go.
I love how matter of fact he is. If you ever knew Buster, he's really funny behind the scenes. But when he's in front of cameras, and as a player, it was because he didn't want to have all of us run to him every single day and give him all these great quotes. And he's like, well, if I'm really good and affable and funny and interject to him, they're all going to come to me every day. And I don't want that. And so even though we would anyway, because he was Buster Posey, but he just seems very matter of fact. And I love an even-keeled front office guy. And you can just tell with him, I'm sure he gets in front of the team and is the same way. He elicits so much respect from these guys because a lot of these guys still remember him playing because it was only a few years ago. So he gets that respect. But also, you could see it. You could see him being in the clubhouse going, guys, it's time. And everyone going, whoa. I mean, he's got a presence about him. And that's why I do think he is going to be good at this. Now, I don't know, decision-making process. The biggest thing with Buster Posey is, and this is why I think he'll win too, is because you got to have a relationship with that front office. You've got to be able to get the money out of the pockets of the people around that big mahogany table who care about the business side more than the winning side. That's the Giants. They care more about it because Larry Baer came out when they got that influx of money. They sold a percentage of the team, and the first thing out of Larry Baer's mouth was, we're going to make the facade better. We're going to make the front of the stadium better. We're going to improve the suites. And maybe somebody did or didn't ask him, but I would ask him, like, anything about baseball? I'm not saying about payroll. I'm saying, are you going to improve anything about any of your facility from a baseball standpoint so that a player can come here maybe as a free agent, or that you can dip into the Asian market, or you can make your international so that you can get better international players? Or is there anything that way where you can put back into the baseball? Like, nobody asked that. He talked about the facade, the front, Willie Mays Plaza. He talked about suites. Like, they care about business. And I get it, man. And I tell you this all the time. Don't be under the illusion that all these owners want to just win at any cost. It's a business to most of them. And the rare few, the Dodgers, when Cuban owned the Mavericks, Joe Lacob and the Warriors, there's a handful of teams, probably 10% of them, who just live and die with winning and losing. Most of them are just up in a suite going, look at me, I own the team. Great. And they run it like a business. I've been in this business long enough and talked to enough people. I don't need to go down that road again. I've done it a million times, but it's true. And the Giants are one of those teams that just think, you know what, man, this is a cool business. All right, it is. It's a cool business, and Larry Baer gets to sit in his suite and smile and do all those kind of things. But the reality of it is that the Giants don't have a burning desire like the Dodgers have a burning desire to win. They don't. Because if they did, their payroll would be higher. They would act like a major market team. They would they would realize that you can trade prospects and people will sign here, players will sign here. It's a great ballpark. And I'm going to give you an example on the Fernando Tatis hit yesterday. Pitchers will sign here, hitters won't. And there's one example from yesterday's game that I will give you. But anyway, I love the response from Buster Posey is my point. But as we sit here and go, what the hell's wrong with these Giants? This is why they've got to get hitting. You see the projected records right now? So Cubs, Dodgers, Phillies would win divisions. The three wild card teams are there would be 93 win Padres, 93 win Giants, and 99 win Mets. So they would be the third team in. So they're still in this thing. And that's why I think Buster Posey looked at this thing and went, wait a minute. We're still in it, but we're barely ahead of the Cardinals. The Braves are going to make a run on us. The Reds are kind of right there. The Brewers are kind of right there. There's enough teams teetering to where if we don't get this hitting going, we're not going to win this third wild card. So what the hell's going on here? The Dodgers aren't that far ahead of you, but they're going to win the division. They're 6 up on you. They're going to win the division. So now he's looking at the rest of the wild card and going, okay, we're in this. We're the third wild card right now. Can we hang on to this thing? Not with this hitting. So as I told you yesterday, it's very, very simple. For all the complaining we're doing, the point in showing that is they're on a 93-win pace. That's pretty good. You got to take that. Beginning of the season, usually the wild cards are on 90 wins, 88 to 90, something in that range. I know Arizona a couple of years ago went with 84, but generally speaking, 87 to 90 games would, get you at least in contention for the wild card. This year, you got to win 93. You win 90. St. Louis is on a 90-win pace. So Buster Posey sees that, and he's like, wait a minute, we can't screw around. The pitching's really good, and that's why we are where we are. So we got to get things going. So the timeline is, okay, Dom Smith got a couple of hits yesterday. Excellent. Let's see if he can keep it going. If he doesn't, then it's going to be Bryce Eldridge time. If he doesn't, then it's going to be time for a trade. And then he's got to go to the people around the big mahogany table and say, look, I've got to add some payroll. That's where his hands are tied. That's where when we talk about Buster Posey and can he do this job, he doesn't have the backing of the Dodgers. He doesn't have the backing of the Yankees. He doesn't have that. Hell, he probably doesn't even have the backing of the Padres that they have. He's got to walk in there and just be like, please, sir, with a cup, shaking a cup to try to get a couple of nickels from the ownership group who would rather fix the facade in Willie Mays Plaza and Suites than they would give Buster a few extra $1 million to get the middle of the order bat that they desperately need at first base or right field or wherever, or second base or wherever they need to upgrade. That's just how it is. So, and I see you, Jason, on the Hoskins thing. I was big on Hoskins for a long time. They won 9 in a row, Milwaukee. I mean, they're right in the middle of this thing, Milwaukee. I don't know how they keep losing guys every single year. Adames, Burns, just boom, 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 boom. And yet they still keep doing it. They got a few stars, some young guys on that team. There's no doubt. But Milwaukee, as a small market, has been hit as hard as anybody. And Hoskins would be perfect, too, because it's a mutual option on his contract for next year. Plus, this year's contract at the beginning was like $18 million. So we're getting to the, we're speeding towards the midway point of the season. And, so you'd owe him $8 or $9 million. That's what you'd get. And could Buster Posey walk into the front office and get $8 or $9 extra $1 million, even though they're 30 under the tax line? I don't know. I mean, that's a big question. Ryan O'Hearn's is a great call there, Tacky. That was another one that I brought this up the other day. I said there's 7 teams out of the race. I did this 2 days ago on the show. I said there's 7 teams out of the race. I looked at every single team. In fact, let me do it because I scribbled it down. Let's see. Where is it? I don't know if I throw so many things. Oh, here you go. These are the teams that are out of it so far. So, for example, I'm not saying these are the guys, but like Ryan McMahon was hitting 208. This is 2 days ago. Oh, Andrew Vaughn, the former Cal Bear, hitting 177. Luis Robert hitting 189. Who else did I have on this list? Rooker. Rooker's nice, and the A's need pitching. How about Kyle Harrison for Brent Rooker? I'd do that. Andujar, Ryan Mountcastle, Ryan O'Hearn, Kyle Stowers. I mean, those are the guys. Kyle Stowers has 10 home runs with 32 RBIs with a 952. O'Hearn, like you said, 9 home runs, 22 RBIs, hitting 329, left-handed stick, he's 31. Like, those are the guys, Ryan Mountcastle. But the thing, those teams are calling you, and they're asking for Kyle Harrison right now. And you don't want to do that. Or they're asking for, Birdsong. They're not doing that. So they're just, that's the bottom line is that. Now, if I'm the Giants and they've just never been this aggressive over the last number of years, remember, you play in a pitcher's park. You are going to be able to sign pitchers. So if Kyle Harrison leaves, that sucks, right? But you can sign pitching. They'll come here. Hitters won't. You want to know why? Here is Exhibit A. Watch this from yesterday, okay? With in mind, pitchers will love to come here. Hitters will not. Watch Fernando Tatis thinking this ball's a home run out of the box. He does the hop, and he actually flips the bat. Watch this.
Did well to center field. Starting to carry. Jung-Hoo Lee's got it on the track. Tatis is staring out there like, what happened?
He thought he had it. He can't believe it didn't go over. He just got oracled.
Let me go back to the bat flip.
Did well to center field. Starting
bat flip. Bat flip.
Did well to.
So the point of that is that if you need a reminder of what's going on here, if you trade Kyle Harrison, you're going to get a guy next year, and they do have depth. But guys will sign here. Pitchers will sign here. They've done it for years and years and years. They'll sign here. Hitters will not. So I've always had to scratch my head, especially under Farhan, who wanted to hoard. I want to hoard all my prospects. Trade them. Trade some of these young pitchers. None of them come through so far anyway. I mean, since Bumgarner and since Lincecum and Kane, you've had a Webb. I mean, Webb is great. Most of these guys who have been great since those guys outside of Logan Webb have been acquired because guys will sign here. Pitching will sign here, no problem. Every single year, pitching. Hitters, hello, is this thing on? Later on today, because I didn't have time to do it, I'll do about 10 minutes on, there was a Willy Adames breakdown. I'm just talking about it because Adames was actually a hitter who did sign here. And Harold Reynolds did a mostly nice job of explaining why Adames is struggling so far. But there's one thing he forgot, which I will point out. And because, like I said, it's too long to do. And it's kind of this thing where I'd have to take a really hard right turn. And so I'm going to do that. So keep your alerts on, and I'll do that a little bit later. And I'll shoot that out just as a single thing because I think it's really good. It's going to kind of break up the flow of the show because I'm talking about the Giants and the game yesterday and where they are in the standings and why Buster Posey, to me, that's great what he said. It's time. It's time. And if you look at the standings, it's time. We're a 93 win on pace team, but we've done it generally with pitching. Early in the season, their offense was going, but not now. And so now he's looking at it going, okay, I had to win a 3-2 game yesterday and I had to be perfect. Fernando Tatis had to be Oracle Parked. Camilo Doval, we had to bite through our nails again. Robbie Ray had to be incredible. Dom Smith, the new guy, had to get 3 hits. They have to be perfect every single day to scratch out 3 runs and to keep the Padres to only 2. That's not a sustainable way to win. And so Buster Posey says it's time. And when he says that, he's talking about first base, but he's also, to his credit, talking about right field. Now, Yaz played yesterday, but it's like, okay, let's try Daniel Johnson. Okay, that's not going to work. We got to go out. Daniel Johnson is not the answer in right. Dom Smith, great game yesterday, man. Awesome. Not the answer at first base. Maybe Bryce Eldridge will be. By the way, Bryce Eldridge, I showed you this yesterday, got a single to right. Bryce Eldridge last night, this.
Line to right field, drifting back and going all the way back, and this ballpark will never hold it. A grand slam for Bryce Eldridge. And just like that, it is Sacramento with the lead.
There you go. So Bryce Eldridge in 2 games, hard hit single to right, and a bomb grand slam last night. If he keeps this up and Dom Smith struggles for any length of time, and they don't have any patience at first base anymore, you're going to see Bryce Eldridge, hopefully he's Bryce Harper, Bryce Eldridge sooner rather than later. I mean, that's just how it is. I said he was going to be up by July 1st. What's today? June 6th. He might be up in a week or 2. It just depends on Dom Smith. If Dominic Smith can be the player, and he doesn't have to get 3 hits, but he had a ground rule double when it mattered. Remember I told you about Tyrese Haliburton? I don't care how many hits Dom Smith gets. When they were down 2-1, he got a ground rule double, took a 3-2 lead, and they held on to it. That's what matters. So he gets key hits. Dominic Smith will continue to get run at first base. That's a lot of pressure to have. If I'm Dominic Smith, it's not easy at all. Because Dominic Smith is sitting there going, well, God, they just put the guy, their number 1 prospect is sitting at AAA going, staring at me. Are you any good? Are you any good? Are you any good? Are you any good? If he's not, then and he just hit a grand slam, and that's buzzing through the clubhouse. See Eldridge last night? 2 games, hard single, grand slam. He'll be here. So Dominic Smith has no wiggle room. He can't go in a slump. Dominic Smith can't go 1 for 15 right now. Because he'll get DFA'd and Bryce Eldridge is going to be on his way. And then when if Bryce Eldridge isn't ready at the age of 20, I should say if, not when, then they're going to make a trade. Then that's how they're going to do it. Now everybody's like, Rhys Hoskins, this and that. But now they've given themselves options. They have said right field's not good enough offensively. They have said first base isn't good enough offensively. And if they can't figure it out there, I like Tyler Fitzgerald, but the 2 home runs and 7 RBIs when the guy hit 15, 16 home runs last year? That ain't going to do it, dude. We thought you were a 20 home run guy. So they got to start looking at second base. So anyway, we go through this diatribe, this exercise every single day. So we don't need to go back down to it. Rooker's a righty, by the way, for those asking. What else? What's a coffee cup caboose pistol? I think I have 2 things on the caboose today, by the way, which ends every show if you're new around here. One's about the guy running on the field. One's got Shaq involved in it. Which, by the way, I see it coming, and I don't want to be an ass. And you may have seen this. NBA TV was the NBA Finals. No Barkley. There was Kenny Smith. There was Shaq. There was, who else was on that? Somebody else. But it was kind of a B version just because there was no Chuck. I think he's done for the year. And Screaming A, who would never have done this, like crashes it and acts like, he's fist bumping everybody and everything. And it's like Kenny Smith goes, hey, man, we're still enemies. Like, I don't want him to be friendly with him, man. He's going to ruin the show. He's going to ruin the show. Like, if I'm a producer, it's like, stay away. Like, we're not starting this. We're not starting this buddy thing because we all work for ESPN. He didn't sit down, but he was like, hey, we're boys now. It was like, no, Screaming A. No, don't make my ears bleed. Do not ruin the chemistry of that show. It's happening. I'm seeing it. Anyway. No, I'm in the same studio. We're just doing remodeling right now. So I'm in the exact same studio, as weird as that sounds. We're just doing a little remodeling right now. That's all. And I know it's boring and we'll fix it soon. I promise. Okay, I got to find this. Where is this? If John reads the details of the coffee cup caboose pistol, I can't wait to see. Somebody send me this. Where is it? I can't miss a caboose pistol. If so, I'll have to go back later and we'll have to check that out. But anyway, there you go. All right, episode 159. Welcome. We're 40 minutes into the show. What Haliburton could have been. He was a king. He could have been a warrior. Could have taken him in that draft. They weren't going to. Mr. Clutch, Dom Smith, DOVAL. I was dropping Alka-Seltzer into my Jack Daniels as I was watching him, but he did get it done. I still will say Rodriguez is your best pitcher last night or on the staff. So I would really, 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 really like it if he was a closer, but I get it. It's fine. Tatis is why I just showed you this. Do I need to show it again? I don't. Tatis, the reason I played that is Tatis is the reason you can trade that hit that was not a home run and would have been in every other park is the reason you can trade Harrison and is the reason you should trade Harrison because you can get pitching. Pitchers will see that in the highlight package and go, man, I wish I pitched there. You see that? I wish I pitched there. And hitters are going to go, I'm never, ever signing there because of that. That was that's Exhibit A. So you can trade Harrison because they'll sign here. And the reason you have to trade a Harrison is because the bats won't, and you got to make them come here. I'm not coming there. I just traded for you. You are under contract. You have to come. That's why. Because they won't sign, and I'll do the thing later on about Willie Adames. Most of them won't sign, and the pitchers will. So you trade excess pitching, trade for hitting. I don't know why we don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore, but they need to. All right, so that's what's going on as far as that goes. Let me stop at Dodgers. Lee, you're going to puke. You're just going to puke, man. I don't think you've eaten. I hope you have not eaten, but there's a story out there. But first, let's hit the supers. Remember, anything you want on the screen. Well, not anything, but questions, comments, thoughts. You get them on the screen. That's called the super, and I appreciate it. And here's Harry Johnson, who, by the way, yesterday, a couple of great contributions and questions, by the way, which I had to go deep on, gives us a $20 super. I'll buy me lunch today. Harry, indebted man. Thank you very much. Hey, Juan. That's right. That's what my grandparents have always called me, Juan. Great show. Join me for a drink on my 54th birthday, everyone. I am drunk and high already. Maybe we will see you tomorrow. Where are you going to be? Tell me where you're going to be, man. I'll buy you one for 54. No question. Even if I can't get there, I'll call the place and buy you one because I owe you one. The last couple of days, you've been tremendously great to the show. You've been very, very, very generous to the show, and I really appreciate it. And I love being called Juan. And no, not very many people call me Juan, but that was a nickname of my grandparents, and they called me that. And they would yell, and my dad, if he was mad at me, would do that. Juan! And we are not of, a Mexican descent, but I would get called Juan quite a bit, and I do enjoy it. So thank you very much for that. So you say, join me for a drink on my 54th birthday, everyone. I'm drunk and high already, which, again, we're not judging around here, and it's Friday. I don't care if it's not even 10 o'clock. It's Friday. You can do whatever you want. I think that's great. Drunk and high already. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Where are you going to be? Tell me where you're going to be tomorrow or where you are right now or whatever the case may be. Hit me up. You don't have to give me a super on it. Just tell us where you're going to be, and we're definitely down with it. And happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Harry Johnson. Happy birthday to you. Ooh, that was terrible, wasn't it? That was terrible. Sorry. I couldn't decide what I was going to do. I was going to do like a Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday. But you don't want to hear that. Anyway. Oh, look at this. Man, we got birthdays all over the place. I should be like one of those radio shows, right? Hey, it's time for birthday shout-out time. Vrock 408, who is one of my favorites as well. You're all my favorite children. I'm just saying, Vrock, especially with the NBA, you come in with great stuff. I appreciate it. Vrock 408, it is my 40th birthday today, so I could put happy birthday, Vrock 408, happy birthday to you. That's awesome, man. Happy 40. I can tell you, I love going off on tangents. You know that. So we'll stop before we get into Dodgers Lee here in a second. When I turned 40, I thought to myself, this is it, man, all downhill. It's not. 40 is not. Like, if I'm not just saying this because you're turning 40. We get mixed up because we're such into sports that 40 is old. Like 40, okay, LeBron's 40 is old, Brady's 45, he's old. Like, for sports, that's old. But then what's so funny is the minute those guys retire, then 40 is not old. 35 is not old. Like, we're conditioned. Oh, Robbie Ray's 33. Like, when it's funny, Kruk was during the warm-ups doing what he does. Here's what he throws. Here's the mix, how hard he throws it. The umpire's low ball, high ball, which I hate. There's one strike zone. But anyway, he's doing all that kind of stuff. And Robbie Ray's 33 years old. And I thought to myself, 33 is so friggin' young. It's still so young. And Robbie Ray's like this veteran, his 12th Major League Baseball season. He's 33. Like, the clock totally resets when you get out of sports. Like, okay, Robbie Ray will retire at 37 or something, right? And then it's like, flips the switch. He goes from being an old guy in baseball to a young guy in life. And so 40 is not old. I know that 40 is kind of one of those things where you go, damn, I'm 40. You still feel good. Things don't ache or hurt. You don't get these weird, like, middle of the night kind of stuff like I get where it's like, what the hell? Why does that hurt? Like, I didn't get that at 40 at least. Maybe some other people did. 40 is not old. But anyway, congratulations and happy birthday to Vrock 408. And thank you for the contribution, but I love that it's your 40th. Because it's not. You may feel that way, and people maybe have conditioned you. And then, like I said, because of sports, people are like, oh my God, 40's old, LeBron's old, Tom Brady's old. Steph Curry's gonna be 38. Like, that's still so young, man. So happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good call. It's kind of like and thank you, Nathan. It's kind of like a dueling piano bar. New York has one in Vegas. They used to have one in Danville. It was really good. I was in Arizona recently. You know what they had, which was really cool? What was it called? Something or other. And it was a sports bar with dueling pianos. That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. Like, unless it's a really, like a big game that you want to watch. But it would be kind of cool to have dueling pianos while you're watching the game. And then you pay them the money to shit up or to play, something like that. Or that's a good time. I can't tell you how many times. I can't remember what the one in Danville was called. But we, like, every special occasion, we would go there. We had friends get married one time, and like the next night, was it the next night? Maybe it was the next week. We went out, and those places get wild. Because if the two piano guys are really good and they know how to work the room, it's a good time. And you're right. I would pay me to stop singing too. Maybe I'll do it again, and more people will make me stop singing and pay me to not sing. But yeah, you're right. It's bad for the show. I'm sure I just lost lots of listeners. Singing's not a good thing. Thanks to Harry. Thanks to Nathan. Thanks to Brock. Thanks to Harry again. Thanks to Fuji for supers today. We're not leaving. I'm just letting you know. Harry says, I'm in Mesa. Oh, right on. Come see George and we'll meet up. I know exactly. Of course, Mesa, right by Chandler, right? Yeah, Mesa right there. Oh, okay. Mesa's a great place. What are you looking at today? About 100? I think I looked at the, because I got lots of friends down there too. Go down to Arizona quite a bit. My son, as everybody knows, is at ASU. By the way, my son leaves Monday for the East Coast. He is covering a team in the Woodbat League back there. And I just brain farted on what it's called, but he's going back to Cape Cod, the Cape Cod League over which is a great drink, vodka, a little bit of cranberry, throw a lime in there and a touch of lime juice, make it a little bit better. You shake those up. That's called the Cosmopolitan. But I've never been a huge fan of the Cape Cod. I throw a little cranberry in there, or excuse me, a little grapefruit in there like that. Maybe even splash of pineapple's not bad. Splash of orange isn't bad. I prefer the grapefruit and cranberry thing. But anyway, point being is that he leaves on Monday for the Cape, and he's going to write all summer about that. Then he's going to go back and be a beat writer for Arizona State football, which is really, really hot. But anyway. Long story short is you're in Mesa. All right, easy. Where are you going today? I got to know. I got to send you a drink, man. I got to send you a drink wherever you are. I got to call the bar wherever you are and say, buy my guy a drink. Thank you, Harry Johnson. Much, much, much appreciated. So you're in lovely Mesa, Arizona. Very cool, man. I like that break. I liked the super break. Thank you. Like I said, thank you to Fuji. Thank you to Harry. Thank you to Vrock. Happy 40th birthday to you. Yes, Nathan. I will not sing anymore. And Harry, Mesa, Arizona. So there you go. That's where we're at. Went all the way from Mesa. Oh, I almost started singing again. Mesa, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma. I know it's Phoenix. Moscow Mule, good call right there. Not bad. Not a bad drink. You can't do grapefruit, really? It's straight grapefruit, I get. But the cranberry to me, I don't know. Is it too sweet or whatever it is? Throw just a touch of cranberry, or excuse me, a grapefruit in there. I like, for example, I know this sounds weird. I wouldn't eat a grapefruit. Like I wouldn't sit down. Like my grandfather was a big grapefruit guy. Had one of those grapefruit spoons, with the edges on it, and he would eat grapefruits every morning. I couldn't do that. But in terms of like in a drink, I wouldn't do like a grapefruit. I wouldn't put it in like a fruit salad or anything like that. Like I know that sounds weird, but I wouldn't do that. Like onions, for example. I could do grilled onions in like fajitas. Love them. Like a raw, like a red onion or something like that on a burger. No good. So I don't know. I don't know how it works that way, but that's just what it is. Let's see here. Yeah, Greyhounds. Yeah, Greyhound. There you go. Greyhounds are wonderful. They're good. You got to have good grapefruit juice. That's the only thing I would say is you got fresh grapefruit juice, and then you got stuff like that's in a can or something like that, and it's like, bleh. So Paloma, get out of town. That's my drink right now. I've had a Paloma in a can, pretty good. I have not had a Paloma in a can, but a Paloma, which is, but depending on who's making them, and they vary. Just like a margarita, like you could have a great one, a bad one, whatever. Paloma with obviously tequila, grapefruit juice. They put that sparkling grapefruit juice in it a lot of places. A little bit of lime in there. I got to be honest with you. If I go to a Mexican restaurant, I do Paloma, and my pecking order is Paloma right now. Paloma. I just popped a P in the mic. Paloma, Paloma, Mexican beer, margarita. I get heartburn, man. Brock, you're gonna see. All of a sudden, you turn 40, it's gonna be like, oh, I got heartburn. I never had that before. What the hell, bro? But yeah, that's my pecking order in a Mexican restaurant. Paloma, Mexican beer like a Corona, or I'd rather a darker beer. And then I go margarita like third, and Palomas are nice. Very nice. Good call right there. Who came up with the Paloma? That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. All right. I have waited long enough to give you, it's not bad news. It's just I hate this report because I hope this doesn't happen because we all like Jung-Hoo Lee, right? Jung-Hoo Lee. Would he do to the Giants what Ohtani did to the Angels? There's a report out by Ken Rosenthal today. The Dodgers are reportedly keep a close eye on Jung-Hoo Lee per Ken Rosenthal. Lee has the option to opt out of his contract after the 27 season. So it's a couple of seasons away. So let's not worry about something that may and probably won't ever happen. But what my point is in bringing this up is this is on the Giants, not on the Dodgers. Don't get pissed at the Dodgers for looking at Jung-Hoo Lee. By the way, they picked up Michael Conforto. He's been awful. I think he got a hit yesterday, but he's hitting in the one somethings. He would fit perfectly on the Giants. He's just I don't understand how people keep giving him money, but they do. And he stinks. But anyway, the point is that, look, if the Giants take care of business over the next couple of years and act like they're a major market team and do what I'm talking about here, okay, you got some prospects who are really good pitchers. Flip it for hitting. You can't get hitting to sign here. Okay, Willie Adames did. That's working out well. You've got to trade excess pitching for hitting. It's very simple. And then if you get low on on pitching, you sign it. It will sign here. It will sign here. Pitching will sign here. We just saw Fernando Tatis yesterday, as I played earlier, get Oracle parked. Hitters go, ain't never going there. I don't know why I did it like that. Not going there. But pitchers say, hell yeah, sign me up to pitch in that ballpark. They can get pitching. So do what you're supposed to do, and Jung-Hoo Lee won't go anywhere. But in 2 years, Jung-Hoo Lee is going to go, I want to win. I'm sick of this crap, and we're a major market team who don't act like it. So the clock is ticking. It's always ticking. I like Jung-Hoo Lee. I think he's going to be a guy that could hit 16, 18 home runs, knock into 75 or 80 runs. He's going to hit around 280. I think he can steal 20 bases. He doesn't generally, but he's a good enough athlete to do it. He's a good base runner. He's an above average center fielder. That's good. That can work. That can work as long as you have a traditional power guy at first base and get some power out of right field. And Ramos keeps doing what he's doing. He doesn't have to be a 30 home run guy in center. He can do what he's doing. But he's going to make a decision. Okay, I've come over. It's Major League Baseball. I can do this. Remember, he didn't come over from Japan. He came over from Korea. And those players have been kind of hit and miss. So he did it. He's done well. He's doing better. I'm encouraged by him. But in 2 years, he's going to be okay. The novelty of playing in the major leagues has worn off. I've gotten a few bucks in my pocket. I'm looking good. I'm established. I'm confident I can play here. Now let's start winning. And if the Giants don't start winning, Jung-Hoo Lee will leave. He's got an option after 2027. Now, that's weird for that article to come out now. We're 2 years away from that. But still, the Dodgers, that's what they do. They're like, okay, can we get that guy? That's what the Giants need to be. Be a shark. Be the hunted. Or be the hunter, not the hunted. They're the hunted. Like, they've become, I mean, that's pretty pathetic to think they've become like a minor league system. Like, that's what Milwaukee is. That's what Minnesota is. That's what Pittsburgh is. That's what Colorado is. Like, those markets are like, we're basically another minor league system for the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Red Sox. And you're part of the haves. You're not a have-not. You're not the A's. You're a have. You're not a have-not. You're not a farm system for the Dodgers. But if you don't win games over the next couple of years, be pissed off at the Dodgers all you want. Jung-Hoo Lee at that point is going to say, I've had enough of this, man. I want to win. And all of a sudden it's going to be like, wow, those damn Dodgers. Well, you know what? You know what he knows? They're going to win. And they're going to exhaust every effort to win. Are the Giants? I don't know, because Larry Bear wants to make Willie Mays Plaza better with the money he's going to get for selling a portion of the team. He's not going to get it. But the team, the ownership's going to get, let's fix Willie Mays Plaza. That'll win some more games. Great idea. Let's get let's make the suites nicer. Okay. It's not going to mean that they're going to win more, but okay. The Dodgers may do that, but they're going to do it. But at first, their priority is let's improve the baseball product. Let's make all the facilities as good as they can be. Everybody raves over what the Dodgers do from a facility standpoint everywhere they're associated. Can you say that about the Giants? Because right now, Farhan, one of the things you're supposed to do is fix the farm system. They're 29th. 29th. ESPN rankings just came out. They're 29th. 29th. It's not good. So that's Dodgers Lee. So we're done with some baseball talk. And I'm sorry to be depressing after we were just talking about drinking, which we might need to do now. But I'm not blaming the Dodgers for that. I'm not. I'm blaming the Giants. If the Giants lose Jung-Hoo Lee in 2 seasons, it's going to be because they didn't win enough. Not because the Dodgers came in and swooped them. Yeah, it's because he knows. It's like, if I want to win and I'm going to be in contention, this is where I'm going to go. And so that's what it comes down to. Do things right. I'm glad that Buster Posey is holding everyone accountable, and I love that he said it's time, but I think he's late. I do. They're on a 93-win pace, and that's really nice, but I wouldn't have shown as much patience as he's shown. That's just how it is. And as far as Eldridge is concerned, let me go back to that. You think that him getting a grand slam in game number 2, they don't have their eye on him? Believe me, he keeps doing stuff like this. He's going to be here in 2 weeks. I thought July 1st. Let's just keep an eye on it, but he's going to be here sooner rather than later. That's all there is to it. All right, let's get to the Aaron Rodgers story. That is the biggest story of the day from a national standpoint. There he is in a Steelers getup. That looks weird. He has informed the Steelers he'll fly to Pittsburgh on Friday, sign before next week's minicamp. Tom Pelissero had it first. First and foremost, that's week 1. That is week 1. Blah, 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 blah. That is week 1. So Rodgers, essentially what these two teams have done is Rodgers goes Jets, Steelers. Justin Fields goes Steelers, Jets. I think they're both going to end poorly. I think Fields is a great runner and a tremendous athlete who has never learned how to read a defense. So I think that's a major, major problem. And I don't think that, the Jets have to change their offense totally. And the Steelers, too, to a certain point. They did have Russell Wilson. Part of the irony here is the Broncos wanted to so badly get rid of Russell Wilson in that bad contract. And maybe the worst trade in NFL history was Seattle, who ended up getting like Devin Witherspoon and a bunch of players and picks for that. For a guy who just can't play, they gave like 3 players away, Fant and Drew Lock and a defensive lineman, Shelby Harris, all this stuff to Seattle, plus a bunch of first-round picks for Russell Wilson, who last was just terrible, and Sean Payton hated him. So because the Broncos hated him so much, they gave him $50 million, $50 million to walk away. Go away. Don't come around here no more. $50 million. Where'd he go? He went to Pittsburgh. How'd that work out? Not so great. So Pittsburgh decided, because Pittsburgh's looking at it going, okay, quarterbacks are expensive. Denver's going to pay most of the freight. We don't have to pay very much. Great idea. Let's go get Russell Wilson. Didn't work out. They had Fields and Wilson last year as their quarterbacks. Both are in New York. One is with the Giants. One is with the Jets. Didn't work out so well. So then this year, I don't know. It's just a sign, but it's a trend for the Steelers. I have a philosophy. If someone pays you $50 million to go away, I'm not going to sign you. There's a problem there. And it's not as much. It's a physical problem with Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't keep up like Tom Brady did. He's limping around. He doesn't have the movement skills. He's not the athlete he once was. I mean, he's got a great arm. He can see it, but a lot of times you get to a certain age, you can see it. Your body doesn't respond fast enough. That's Aaron Rodgers right now. 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. It's one of those things where stats lie right through their teeth. He's just not very good anymore. Okay, so that's one side of it, that he's not very good. But if he was not very good, but he was a good guy, or he was not very good, or he was kind of a neutral guy, or whatever the case may be, or was a great leader, great this, great that, great mentor, wasn't a pain in the ass, all those kind of things, then it'd be fine. But why are the Jets paying Aaron Rodgers $50 million to go away? Why? Because they don't want him around the team because he's a negative. I look at him and you say, okay, certain guys, when you sign him, you say, or you let him go. It's addition by subtraction. For him to, so that's what he got with it. So the Jets got addition by subtraction by letting Aaron Rodgers go. And conversely, the Steelers got subtraction by addition for adding Aaron Rodgers. They will be worse off, not only because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a very good quarterback anymore, but because in that locker room, and I lived in Pittsburgh, my son was born there. I didn't live there a long time, just a few years. I was a program director and a talk show host for a station that is no longer there, ESPN 1250 in Pittsburgh, which was owned by ESPN. And you know this, but I can tell you from experience, it's a blue-collar town. They don't put up with a bunch of shit. They're not an excuse-making group of people. And so when Aaron Rodgers comes in there and bitches about the players around him, and that DK Metcalf, who's not consistent, dropped the ball, or somebody ran a wrong route, or it's just not going to fly there. It's a bottom line town. You screwed up, and we want you to take responsibility for you screwing up. And Aaron Rodgers screwed up a lot with the Jets, and he alienated. I mean, look, Garrett Wilson didn't want to play with him anymore, and that was his best receiver. That's probably a sign. The biggest sign is the Jets said, here's $50 million. I think it's 15 this year, 35 next year. So $50 million over 2 years to not play for us. And who's the Jets quarterback? Justin Fields. So they decided to go Justin Fields, who has proven nothing other than the fact that he can run well, and he's a very good athlete, but he's not a good quarterback in this league. And they decided they would rather go that route than Aaron Rodgers, who's easily a Hall of Fame quarterback and a top 10 quarterback of all time. I'm not taking that away from him. But what I'm saying at this point is the old adage of talent versus tolerance. His talent now at this point of his career is not worth what you have to tolerate for him to be in your building. Talent versus tolerance. And that's Aaron Rodgers. If I'm the Steelers or any other team, and he's already been a diva to this point, he just barely, and he hasn't even signed the contract yet, he's just barely now officially associated with the organization, and he's already been a diva. He's already been a pain in the ass. He's already been, I don't want to be at the first OTAs. I don't know if I want to be here. It's like, look, you're not the guy you used to be. So get in this building, get acclimated with these receivers. We just paid a big price for DK Metcalf. We just got rid of George Pickens, who was a general pain in the ass. Like, we're trying to get our offense, the defense under Mike Tomlin, they always draft great linebackers. The Steelers always seem to have a good enough to very good defense. So that's not the problem. The last couple of years behind center between Kenny Pickett and Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and all the garbage, Mason Rudolph, all the garbage that they've thrown out there behind the center, they're trying to find a quarterback who actually wants to be there. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be there. Aaron Rodgers is selfish. Aaron Rodgers wants to go on Pat McAfee. Aaron Rodgers wants to give you his ding-dong philosophies. He wants to, he wants to be and thinks he is and always has, be the smartest guy in the room. I've had him on my show a couple of times. You just kind of sit there and roll your eyes. I mean, it's just, that's what he is. And so I'm sure there's a bunch of guys in that locker room going, man, and that town is not going to tolerate it. It's just not. It's not a great fit. New York is like, we don't care what you do off the field, man. You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. We are a bottom line city. Win or lose. That's how we judge you. In New York, you either win or lose. They don't care what else you're doing. Just win or lose. I don't care. They've had some of the quirkiest players and weirdest players and all this it doesn't matter. Win. Just win. The old Al Davis thing. Just win, baby. That's New York. Pittsburgh, it's a little different. It's a little family feel. There's a certain way about things. There's a certain, it's just different. Yeah, they want to win. Don't get me wrong. Steeler fans win, but they want to do it a certain way. And I'm surprised given what that organization does. And I know they're desperate for a quarterback, and this is what it comes down to. It's their desperation for a quarterback because the chairs, the music stopped and there were no more chairs, and they went, damn, who's our quarterback? Mason Rudolph. But the Jets said we'd rather have Justin Fields than Aaron Rodgers. How much does that tell you? The Jets said, we'll take $50 million for you to go away. We'll eat it. Tasty. Put a little salt and pepper on it. $50 million. $50 million. $50 million. So anyway, just letting you know, that's not great if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll see. Look, I'm not a Steelers fan. I have no horse in the race. I really don't care. But it's just the height of desperation when you allow, at this point of his career, Aaron Rodgers into your building. Because to me, he's got a lot more things that he cares about other than football. And football, though, gives him a stage. Football gives him a spotlight. So I don't love it. If I'm the Steelers, I don't love it. And I'm absolutely positively shocked with an organization with Mike Tomlin as the head coach, with the amount of continuity that the Steelers have had over the years, that they would stoop to the level of Aaron Rodgers to just say, well, we're this desperate. When you've put yourself in that position, when you're this desperate. And look, you know what's interesting? And Vrock is hitting this. So let me hit another super right here with Vrock because you ask a very good question. What do you think Aaron Rodgers was drafted by the Niners? Let me go back. So 2005, and let me keep this on the board. Yeah, you're saying if he was drafted by the Niners. Yeah. So obviously Alex Smith, they took Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers sat in the room. And then at the end, what was it, Dennis O'Donnell or something like that? Not half as sorry as the Niners are going to be that they didn't draft me. Like, look, Aaron Rodgers had a great career. There's no denying it. I have nothing personal against Aaron Rodgers. He's great. Like I said, he's a top 10 quarterback of all time, maybe even more than that. But he's absolutely tarnishing his legacy now because he doesn't care about football as much as he cares about being on a stage, having a spotlight. Having people who are far below him, clearly intellectually, ask him questions. We're just the dirty, stupid media to Aaron Rodgers. So, that's just how he comes across. And I just wouldn't want that in my building. Chemistry is important in winning. It is. And Aaron Rodgers, the minute things go south for the Steelers, and it will, because they're not nearly the best team in that division. I think Cincinnati's better. I think, obviously, the Ravens are better. I don't know about Cleveland. They got a long way to go. The AFC's tough. The Steelers aren't one of the better teams in the AFC. So it's going to be 2 seasons with the Jets, actually one because he got hurt that first season. They're like, God, we don't want this guy around us anymore. Here's $50 million to go away. That's a major, major, major red flag, maybe the biggest there is. And they don't have anything great at the quarterback position, but we just want you gone. Like he told the story in the McAfee show that basically he showed up, flew across country, showed up in New York for them to say, we want no part of you. The new regime just said, we want no part of you. And it's like, well, you just told me this on the phone. I agree with him in that respect. But, they didn't even consider Aaron Rodgers, this new regime with New York. Why do you think that is? Because they asked the players. I guarantee you they asked the players, you want him back? Hell no. And that's what the Steelers players are going to think and the fans are going to think not too deep into this season. Now, as far as Aaron Rodgers, not that I want to get into it, but somebody's asking, Kenny's asking about Terry Bradshaw. He didn't want to be with the team in OTAs. He didn't want to be part of the continuity. He didn't want to be part of the fabric. He didn't want to throw with receivers in the offseason. We're almost done with the offseason. In another month here, they're going to camp. And so you haven't had any time to get to know guys, but he doesn't want to. This is the Aaron Rodgers show, man. That's what it's become. And that's what he wants. And the Steelers are just a vehicle for that. So we'll see. But the Steelers bought into it, and they're going to be like, whoa, after this season, go away. But you're asking if he was drafted by the Niners. There would have been tons of success. I think that Aaron Rodgers, and part of it is, and part of your question, I think, is related to, if people don't remember, Brett Favre was there. Brett Favre was there. So he had a few years to sit behind Favre. If Aaron Rodgers was thrown into the fire, and this is something we talked about yesterday, the whole, flipping things, would this guy have done that? Like Mac Jones. Okay, the Niners take Mac Jones 3rd overall, and some people think he would have the success that Purdy's having, and if Purdy had gone, to New England, that Purdy would be, where Jones is as a backup. I don't believe that. I think that Brock Purdy would be good everywhere. I think he's got the kind of work ethic. I think he's that kind of smart. I think his ability to decipher a defense, to go to the right place, to decipher quickly, which is huge. All these different things that are vastly underrated by the NFL. Oh, it's all about arm strength. It's all about how big you are. It's all about, A, B, C, and D, the dictionary definition of a quarterback. No, it's about dissecting the defense and how quickly you can make a decision and how accurately you can throw it, not how hard. So they underestimate that constantly. I'm not one that believes that if Mac Jones is drafted 3, he's where Purdy is, and if Purdy goes somewhere else, he's a backup quarterback in the league. It's not easy playing the position. And those who say it is are stupid. Oh, but Kyle makes it so easy. Does he? He does? He's ultra demanding. They have 3 plays at the line of scrimmage. You've got to decipher that at the line of scrimmage. There's a 300-pound man trying to end your life by ripping your head from your shoulders. You've got to make that decision in about 2.2 seconds. There's 4 or 5 receivers in the route. You had to have worked with them enough in the offseason that you know telepathically where that receiver is going to go, and you have to see every single one of them somehow while someone's trying to rip off your face. And then you have to actually execute said play. Oh, that corner's playing outside leverage. That linebacker's not going to be able to make it in time. I can fit it in that hole. So then you've got to accurately throw a ball as you're being hit, and the ball's got to be on the money. That's all you got to do. I mean, that's simple. And it's Kyle Shanahan's system, so it's so easy to do all of those things in 2.2 seconds, to decipher all what I just talked about, to call the play, to then get to the line, change the play, to get everybody, all the other players, the other 10 guys in the right position to even try to execute the play. Then once execution starts, then when they're trying to kill you, do all those things I just talked about and make an accurate throw time after time after time. But that's easy. Anybody can do it. All you got to do is be in Kyle Shanahan's system, right? It's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. But I keep getting diverted. You're asking about Aaron Rodgers. I think. Look, I think Aaron Rodgers is great. Look, I don't like the person. I don't care. That's not my department. I don't have to like him. I try to keep everything. I tell you this. I try to keep everything between the lines because then I think it's fair game. And between the lines, I think that Aaron Rodgers has fallen off quite a bit. And I think he can still see it, but he can't execute it. I think from a standpoint of athleticism, I think it's fallen off a ton. You can see it. He can't move like he used to. And that used to be a big part of his game, buying that extra time, playing some background football. He can see it. He's smart. He can talk the game now still. But the reason why I bring the other stuff off the field is because it's affected his on the field now. And that I'm comfortable with that. All the different stuff that has made it about him. And you talk to people that he used to date, like ask Danica Patrick if you ever get a chance. And a couple of these other women that he's dated, that they think he's a psycho. And he is. And he's nuts. And he would just rather make it about him and outside of the things. And if he really wanted to play, he wouldn't be on McAfee every week. He wouldn't be saying the stuff he's saying. Like I said, I just think it's a problem. And I think it's a major problem. So even though I try to keep things between the lines, I think it's a major problem. Now, if he had drafted him, yeah, I think I'll put it this way, and this is the simplest terms to put it in. They would have won a Super Bowl. It wouldn't have been since 94 that they won a Super Bowl had they drafted Aaron Rodgers. I believe that. He sat for a couple of years in Green Bay. Maybe he loses confidence. He's close to home. Maybe he puts pressure on himself. A lot of these quarterbacks who come into the league, it's about their situation. And if he had to play right away with all the different coaches and coordinators that Alex Smith had to play with that people forget about, maybe he doesn't make it through that. But I think he does. He's very confident. He's arrogant to this point, but he's very confident in his ability. So I think Aaron Rodgers would have thrived with the 49ers, probably would have taken a little more time. He would have probably taken a few more bumps. It was a different path he took being behind Brett Favre. But the biggest thing I can say is they would have won a Super Bowl. That's it. Just retire Ron. That was nice by Joey. And if you don't know that, then you got to look it up. Ron. Put my foot up your ass. But yeah, they would have won a Super Bowl. That's what I think by now. It wouldn't be 94. You know, it wouldn't be we'd be like 94 still. But yeah, I think he would have. Let's see. I don't know what I said, but Joy said agreed, John. So that's good. That means I'm on the right track. All right. What else do we have today? 10:17, hour 13 into the show. So again, episode 159. Haliburton was a king, could have been a warrior. Mr. Clutch, it's another big shot. Dom Smith gets a few hits. Duvall, I need Alka-Seltzer in my whiskey. Tatis with that ball that he was oracled. We played that for you. That's why hitters won't sign here in one swing of the bat. Why hitters won't and why pitchers will, and why you can trade Kyle Harrison. The Dodgers lease, somebody's telling me that's a fake. Hang on a second. You know what? I was going fast through that, so I could have been duped on that. Let me see. What does it say? No. Because I thought Talking Baseball was oh, yeah, you're right. It says Rosenthal and it has a W in it. I should have caught that. So that's wrong. So there you go. Okay. I'm duped. I'm wrong. I'm stupid. Rodgers talent versus tolerance, random things. We haven't done a talent. We got into a little bit of a drinking thing, but we haven't done a ton of random things. Anything that we want to random on today? You're right about that too. Yeah, and he and Brett Favre didn't like each other. Yeah, it's not like he's going to come in here and say, for whatever young quarterback the Steelers would get and say, hey, let me put my arm around you. I mean, he was the guy who said, catch up, bro, because Favre didn't really want to mentor him. Hey, you're going to take my job. Let me tell you how to do it. Like, I'm sorry. I think when it comes to mentoring, and I agree with you 100%, by the way, he and Brett Favre didn't like each other. And that's just Aaron Rodgers. Let me put it this way. He is, and things happen, but he's estranged from his whole family. He's one of those people, he doesn't seem to have many friends. Ex-friends don't like him. Ex-girlfriends don't like him. They talk about what a psychological weirdo he is. That's a pattern in his life. The Jets paid him $50 million to go away. And now the Steelers are like, please save us. We're drowning. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to drive the boat right over him. I mean, that's just what he does now at this point of his career. So look, let's put it this way. If the Niners were so desperate, like let's say that Brock Purdy was not, let's go back in the time machine. Brock Purdy wasn't drafted. And he signs with Minnesota like a lot of people thought he was going to do if he became a free agent. Okay, no Brock Purdy. And maybe Kirk Cousins is aboard. Maybe that's the case, certainly now, because it's like, he can't find a team for him. But Aaron Rodgers probably would have entered the equation at some point. And the reason I say that is because they blew it on Tom Brady. After the Super Bowl, and Brady was looking for a place to play, and he ended up in Tampa, he wanted to come here. He wanted to come to the Bay Area. He wanted to play for the Niners. Of course, that was a lifelong dream of his. He wanted to finish his career here. And the Niners went, we're good. We just went to the Super Bowl. We had, we were that close, and we're good. When they should have said, you know what? Yeah, you're the guy who would have put us over the top. You would have hit that shot to Sanders. You would have gotten us in the end zone on that last one. Like Brady for 2 years, the Niners would have a Super Bowl. They had done that too. So knowing that in retrospect, and this is before Rodgers went to the Jets. I'm saying before Rodgers goes to the Jets. And if there was no Brock Purdy on the scene, maybe Rodgers would have been a 49er at the end of his career. There was still talk about it anyway. Guys like Mike Flory, who don't know what the hell they're talking about when it comes to the quarterback situation for the Niners, who has talked about Rodgers and Brady to the Niners till he's blue in the face and has no basis for it. But Rodgers, I think, at the end of his career would have been a Niner if there was no Brock Purdy, or it would have been Cousins. One of those two for sure. So anyway. All right. Talent versus tolerance. Random things throughout the show. Did I miss anything on video today? I don't think so. All right. Let's do a sweet clean. Do I have two things on the caboose today? I know I have one. What was the other thing I was going to do on the caboose? Was there another thing I thought it was sports related. Oh, I do have one. Okay. We have two. All right. We have two sweet, clean, family friendly caboose pistol stories for you today. One is, they're both good. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're both good. Let me get down to what am I doing here? I got to get to the music. Oh, yeah. Let me go down here. God, it's taking me a long time to figure this out. I apologize. Should be much better of a professional at this. I know that the sweet, clean, family-friendly caboose pistol is coming, and yet I don't have it ready. Let's go.
John Lund Unleashed presents the caboose pistol.
Wedged in the crack of her buttocks.
Somehow, someway, Lundo thinks this is the best way to leave a final impression on you for the day.
The old caboose pistol, everybody has one.
Did you say caboose pistol?
I know some women who could hide a machine gun in there.
Yeah.
Leave me out of this, you weirdo. Here's John.
No, you don't. You don't know about somebody who could fit a machine gun in there. All right, I got two of them. This will start a heated debate, I think. A fun debate, probably. Why don't they show people who run on the field? I know, because that will encourage other people to run on the field. I understand. But still, you're in an entertainment business, and I'm first going to show you somebody who has the video of the guy running on the field between the Mets and the Dodgers, and then I'm going to let you hear the broadcast, which Kruk and Kuiper are great. I think they're awesome. If I was going to be forced to listen to another broadcast that wasn't Kruk and Kuiper, the Giants, I would listen to Gary Cohn in New York with the Mets, with Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez. They just don't care. They say whatever they want. It's hilarious. And they make fun of other teams. They made fun of the A's during that series, like in Sutter Health Ballpark or whatever it's called. I mean, they're just funny. It's a great broadcast, and they're very satirical. They can be self-deprecating. They just say crazy stuff all the time. So let me give you two videos here. One is of somebody who shot it from the stands. Obviously, this wasn't yesterday. It was the night before. Where a fan ran into the field, then I want to talk about it with you. All right, so they finally get the guy. So a couple observations. if even put it like down in the corner or something like that. And then what you need to do is have a show camera of them just beating the hell out of the guy and really put big fines on it and all that kind of stuff. So that even if somebody did get a wild hair as they were drunk, nobody sober runs on a field. They would, at least it would encourage them if they were getting beat down. And then it's like, did you hear what happens? If you go on the field now in Major League Baseball, it costs you, $5,000 or just, make it something that's just insane so that people really won't do it. But those who do really want to go for it. And what they try to do is nowadays is they're trying to run on so they can jump back into the stands. Like it's this sprint. And that guy was a pretty good athlete. They finally got to him. But you hear the oohs and the ahs of the crowd. Ooh, they finally get him. Ah, like it's entertaining, right? So we're watching a baseball game that for 3/4, maybe even 90% of it is like guys standing around, right? Waiting for a pitch to be thrown, waiting for some action. That's what we're doing as fans. I love it. My favorite thing, football is probably number one. But I like outside. So like baseball's laid back and it's fun. And they try to get you in and out of there and vacuum as much money out of your pocket, $20 beers and all that kind of stuff. That bothers me. But I love being out, love being outside. It's nice. But I want to be entertained. And so if on a broadcast, because this is years ago, they used to show them, but now they don't. It's like, we don't want to encourage anyone from going on the field. So that was entertaining to me. And you could hear the fans go ooh and ah and everything. And people like it. We want to know. We want to see. How fast can they get there? Where's the guy going to go? It's like watching a, cat on a hot tin roof or something. It's like, go. Yeah, are you going to get the guy? Like, it's entertaining to me. It's an entertainment entity. I don't know who made the decision. I don't know who the fuddy-duddy was that went, we will not show that. We will not show fans on the field because that will encourage other fans on the field. And I'm like, not if you beat the hell out of them, which is entertaining too. And not if you find them a bunch of money and put them in handcuffs and throw them in the, the drunk tank with the other drunks. I just like, look, I wouldn't be encouraged just because I saw that. I would think it was funny and entertaining, and you're in the entertainment business, right? So I don't know. There's my thought. Now, this is what's funny. So during the Mets broadcast, that very thing that I showed you was going on. And like I said, I think this is the second best broadcast in baseball, and they're funny. So here's how they handle it. That thing went on for like 5 minutes. Those guys are hilarious. That's, like I said, those guys are great. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, and Keith Hernandez. I don't like the Mets or anything. It's just, that's funny. But it's just, what's better? Those guys are funny and they can fill. Most baseball, talent can't. And then they're just sitting around like, well, show the guy. Show him getting slammed to the ground. Show him, getting in handcuffs. Show him try to outrun the guys. I'd like to see how long they can do it. That's a great question on the end game is you're drunk. The fact is you're drunk. And somebody popped in the Harlan thing. That Harlan thing was actually at Levi Stadium. But yeah, Harlan was. It's the best of all time. He's bare-chested, and it's just hilarious. And then I think he did the Bobby Wagner one too when he knocked out a guy who ran on the field at Levi Stadium. But it's incredible. Like it's just incredible. And certain guys can do it well, and it's just funny and it's entertainment. We're an entertainment entity. Like, you know what I want? I want this alternative channel. I've talked about this for years. I want this alternative channel of really entertaining people sitting on a couch, kind of like a Manning cast, but like watching the game like I would watch the game. And they're talking how we all talk, F this and S that and, just all that stuff. And they're drinking beers and they're making jokes and they're doing bets and we're showing streakers and we're, just like the alternative broadcast of how people really watch a game, And I don't want them to cut away and I don't want to miss any action or anything like that. And I don't want them to, there's certain things like, I remember during the college football thing, they would do these and they'd have like Bill Walton on it. I don't want that. I don't want some guy out of nowhere. If I wanted that, I would just, there are certain people in my life that probably don't watch as much sports and they sit there at the most inopportune times, like the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals, and go, so who's playing? What game is this? Like, I don't want that during the most important times, but I do want like the alternative cast for normal people. I think that's it. I think that would be the best way. So anyway, there you go. All right. So there's one, streakers. I'm all for them and I'm for showing them. And then I was looking for something on, YouTube this morning and I came across the fact that Shaquille O'Neal was on Family Feud and I thought it was hilarious, but not only is it hilarious. I meant to look this up. Hang on one second before I show this because this is part of this. Harvey size. Hang on 1 second. 6'1". Steve Harvey is 6'1". All right, this shows you how big because I've told this story before, but when I was early in my broadcasting career, I was in Portland. I was working for the Trailblazers pre-half and post, and when you're at the Rose Quarter, whatever it's called now, Moda Center, whatever it is, for some weird reason, the opposing locker room, the fastest way to the court, you can go around it, but the fastest way to the court is through the media eating center, like not the kitchen, but where all the media eats, right? So I'm sitting there and I just got my food and I'm sitting down and I look up and I see Shaquille O'Neal walking through the media eating area. And nobody's going to say anything to Shaq, but he didn't care. He's laughing and making jokes with people and he's walking through. And I was like, and you've seen these guys on TV, even like Steph Curry, 6'3". I mean, Steph Curry, 6'2", 6'3". I mean, he's not a small man, but he looks like a small man on the court. But Shaquille O'Neal is just massive. And so, whatever I'm eating, and of course it's free, so I'm liking it. I look up and I'm like, oh my God. So first and foremost, Shaq is on Family Feud. But secondly, Steve Harvey is 6'1". So that's not small. So here's Shaq on Family Feud.
25 seconds on the clock, please. We asked 100 married people, what's the last thing you say to your spouse before you fall asleep?
Good night.
How many hours does it take to make Thanksgiving dinner?
6.
Name something Santa would hate to discover was missing on Christmas Eve.
The tree.
Name someone who saves lives for a living.
Paramedic.
Give me a word that rhymes with turkey.
Charles Barkley.
You should be ignorant.
Steve Harvey's 6'1". Just saying.
You're ignorant, man.
So anyway, he nails it on the first one. He gets the first one. They get the big money, all that kind of stuff. His mom was on there, got 182 out of 200 points. It wasn't very hard for him. But there was two things. I wanted to show that. And then secondly, Steve Harvey's 6'1". I mean, he's just a massive man. And you know that, but I'm just kind of trying to put it in perspective to us average people. And then I've told you this story before. Shaquille O'Neal. So I was covering the NBA, the Western Conference Finals in 1998. It was the year that Kobe was 19 and threw up the air balls against the Jazz. So you've probably heard this story, but it's a good one. So I'm on a knee and I'm in this scrum and my elbow's kind of twisted and I got the mic literally this close to Shaq's face because despite the fact that now he's a media member and speaks, sometimes it's still kind of hard. He mumbles a little bit. But when he was playing, just to screw with you, he'd be like this. And you're like, and I'm looking at my meters because it's just audio back then. There's no, I wasn't using an iPhone. I was using a recorder with a metal microphone and it's kind of low. And I'm just like, God, I'm getting it as close as I can. And somebody hits my elbow and it goes doink right. And it's a metal microphone, doink right in Shaq's mouth. And I was like, I am going to die. And he did this thing to me like he was going to kill me. And then he went, ah. And he's just naturally funny. Like the Barkley thing, just naturally funny, naturally cool. Kobe, on the other hand, totally different. Like 24/7 like this. But Shaq, cool guy. Anyway, there you go. Shaq on Family Feud. All right, that is your sweet, clean, family-friendly Caboose Pistol. That is the show, episode 159. Haliburton, Mr. Clutch, Dom Smith, DOVAL, TATIS' why hitters won't come here and why pitchers will. Eldridge with the grand slam, Dodgers Leaf, fake story, RODGERS, talent versus tolerance, random things, and your sweet, clean, family-friendly Caboose Pistol. Did I miss anything else today? I want to make sure. Is there? Yeah, ballpark. There is ballpark jail. I think all of them have it now. I think that it was a requirement. There is ballpark jail now. So if you run onto the field like that, you're going to ballpark jail. Yeah, they've got a holding cell in. I think all of them. Thanks to Brock today for lots of supers. Thanks to Harry Johnson and happy birthday. Thanks to Nathan. I won't sing anymore. Thanks to Harry Johnson. Like I said, it's his birthday today. That is absolutely great. Hello, Juan. Brock's 40th birthday is today as well. Please welcome give Brock his birthday dues and bottom of the pint tonight. I'll talk to Larry. I'll let you know as soon as I possibly can. Probably on X at John Lund Radio, or I'll hit a comment here on John Lund Unleashed. So there you go. That is the show for a Friday. Remember, we always come back on Saturdays. Get those alerts on today because I have a Willie Adamas I'm going to throw out, plus some shorts and other things. And I'll get on with, and I'll discuss with Krug. Bottom of the pint, I will do that shortly and let you know. Everybody have a tremendous rest of your Friday. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for hanging out with John Lund Unleashed. We'll try to be better next time, though I wouldn't hold my breath. Please like and subscribe on the John Lund Unleashed Pod YouTube channel. Watch live shows weekdays at 8 a.m. on YouTube, Instagram, and X. And make sure to have your alerts on for shows throughout the day or night. All things Lund can be found at johnlundunleashed.com. johnlundunleashed.com.
Goodbye.